I've been kind of with Rich over there, and then Kit Potter is like, Drew, you need to be on here, and, yeah, like on me. So, you know, I've done a lot of research on different arts commission throughout the states and saw its impact on the community. I was like, if this is what we're doing, I want to be part of it. I need to be part of it because what we do at CCE, which is an arts-based nonprofit organization, is we make arts accessible and equitable and affordable to everyone, from young people between the ages of 3 to 83. So it's very intergenerational, and we really focus heavily on performance art, dancing, acting, singing, spoken word, poetry, writing, media arts. That's a lot of our focus. And of course, we integrate that with our educational part and our human services, which is where we help to collaborate with other organizations to feed our community and to house our community. So it's arts integrated. Exactly what's in this book right here, the master plan, is exactly what we're doing at the center. A lot of work. We have space for artists who might need space to work on their particular work. Whether it's, we have actors that come in, they live through, one lives, I think, further south, and one lives in somewhere outside of, I think in Rosendale or something. They come together at CCE to work on their art. They was doing one of I love Lucy's part where it was like the chocolate factory they had to pick on, and it was so funny. I have some pictures of it, but we have real, it's a really affordable space for our artists to come together and meet at CCE. And a lot of them we work with, they want to work with the kids because our focus is how do we begin to teach and work and engage our young people. The only way we feel one of the most important things to do is to educate our kids is through the art. My mother used to always say, you can get more bees with honey than vinegar. And to me, the art is that honey, and that's how we go about teaching. And that has been what we've been doing for 32 years. And we want to expand this with our other partners in our community to do even more work. We're doing a lot of collaboration with MAD and FLOA and other nonprofit organizations that are doing the work that really mean what they say and say what they mean. But we're really about the action part of the work that we do. We speak it, we do it. That's really important to us, especially when our kids are, that's my life.
Yeah.
That is my life, my children, all of them. They're all mine.
How many kids a semester do you work with?
Over a semester?
Or, I don't know how you count.
Well over 250.
Yeah.
If you go to today, right now, each and every room is full. We have mini keys, which is, right now, we have 24 in that class. We have another 27, before I went out, I had to count. We have a bunch of little kids that's learning, they're starting a band. It's called Mini Keys, and the other is called Jam Band. From ages 3 to 7, they're learning how to play, and you'll see it in May. We have our recital every year, the last 20-some odd years, where you'll see all of what we've been working on.
And this is an after school.
So, and it is after school,
Okay.
and a day.
But you're
So we
gonna-
have a preschool program from 7 to 3,
Oh,
and then after school from 3 to like 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
and
which
so
is-
you pick up the kids at school? or
Other
you
schools
pick up-
drop them off, and parents and guardians drop them off.
I've been here for, this is gonna be my 12th year in Kingston. And one of the very first things that I learned in Kingston, because, my son, I needed to put in school, whatever, all the stuff. And the ESL teacher, my son said, you have to bring him to the high school because there is something happening there. And it was like, in the high school where? At the Carnegie Building. Okay, let's go there. And then I was getting into the building and I heard the,
Yeah, drum.
there was CCE starting to take into that building. Although it is my understanding that you were even before the Carnegie in another place.
Yeah, we
But
were in 3 other places before the Carnegie
Yeah.
folks started that.
But I learned about CCE, it was just there. And I was like, oh, drums, you know,
Yeah,
because
we're still doing it. So we have Afro-Cuban, Brazilian.
it really brings it to the air, yeah.
Yeah, so cool.
So, way to go.
Yeah, thank you.
Wonderful.
I'm excited.
Very excited.
Yeah.
Very excited
So
for
happy
you all.
that you're both.
Yes.
And to see CCE growing the way that it's growing,
Mm.
yeah, and congratulations, because I know that the grant for the daycare is, well, it's not new, but it's.
Sheesh. That's
it's
good. You gotta get it
but,
first.
yeah. I get that,
It's out there in the ether, but you gotta kind of.
That was
Soon
like-
some.
Yeah, Mr. Miyagi and
That's
And how many preschoolers you have in the morning?
In the morning, we just started, we opened,
Oh.
2 months ago.
Yeah.
It's been hell and high water, so you have to certify through state. Yeah, 4 times. They were like, no, not that, no, it's almost as if they didn't want us to have it.
It's
It's
complicated.
very,
It was
yeah,
something.
the rules are.
It was really something,
Yeah.
but we got it, we're blessed that we're on it. So right now we have eight kids, but what we found is that most parents are suffering because they make like $2
Yes.
over, so DSS will not.
Yeah. Well, no.
Yes.
So we're working on navigating and getting out there and getting more support for,
It's
our
hard.
kids.
Why did you choose to do it?
Because parents asked for it. It was something that we heard was truly needed, affordable.
It's a big need.
Daycare and preschool to prepare our children because parents were leaving the kids home by themselves.
Yeah.
So you had 6-year-olds watching 2- and 3-year-olds. That is, it's not the world we want, community we want to live
Yeah.
in. So, and we heard this over and over, and we had CPS getting involved and lawyers and people coming and interviewing us because, so it was not okay to get a situation, especially in Midtown, this is what we've been hearing. So we said we had to do something. We have the space, we have great staff and certified teachers that love our children and love this community. So,
That's
Fantastic.
great, that's great.
Good for the kids.
yes.
We are really blessed to have you guys here. So thank you, welcome. I guess that you know the commissioners. Should we introduce ourselves back so they know with whom they are dealing with?
Yeah, I'm
Take the whole meeting?
Yeah.
With, we are already 1 minute over. Okay, so thank you very much. Let's move to the report from the director.
I'm gonna be very brief.
But you have
That's a
to,
long time.
yeah.
The Kingston Revealed exhibition closes at the end of Black History Month. I just got approval from the Common Council to award all participants $750 for their participation.
To all of them.
How many artists is that again?
We have 12.
Great.
The issue, we do not have a public art policy that speaks to how the city handles and takes care of its art. It's obvious.
Yeah.
So I just.
There is a need of
I
making.
just spoke to the mayor about it. I do have money and I set aside. I spoke to Ward briefly earlier. We need to, and I have permission from the mayor to to do an RFP for a consultant that will work on public art policy. Not only public art out here, but
Yeah.
also within. To establish a policy on how we're handling this. Once we have that policy established and that there is a section that speaks to the funding of said care of art, then we can more likely work with Ruth Ann to draw down funding for, the implementation of the public art policy. Most cities that I was asked by Ruth Ann and Ward to examine other cities, going to Asheville next week. Of course, I go to Nashville all the time, but they have a public art policy that speaks to the community-wide inclusion of decisions that, go into public art, whether it's monuments or murals or other. But also it has an extensive public art policy when it, comes to the handling of art. So let
The
me,
collection, right?
the
Yeah.
city's collection, maintaining it,
Yeah,
actually choosing
yeah,
the city's art collection. So I'm glad to say that we can get rolling on that immediately, but that
Great,
we have your help on that. Because I've been on this, because I have serious concerns about what's going on. So we will have the art talks, if you will, and some artists have indicated they don't want to talk about their art, but the art talks will.
Not for $750.
The art talks will be,
we're gonna make them speak.
directly after the next Arts Commission meeting, because we all will be here. And we'll have some food, and we'll allow them to do, talk.
That's a February.
That's the second Thursday in February.
February night, yeah.
And so what happens to the art afterwards? It stays where it is until our Isabel, coordinates with Drew and Lisa and Frank Waters, the youth exhibition.
Who's the fourth person?
Frank Waters from my Kingston kids.
Okay.
He wrote back immediately and said, yes, I'm in.
Oh, okay.
So at this, I'll get to that in a sec, but, and I have plenty of space in my walls, but when we talk about who in the city would adopt some of this art and look after it and take care of it, well, when you look at Benny Eichert, when you look at Deborah Himes and that Black woman whose pain is not taken as seriously as a white woman's, and other health and wellness, those walls are bare. And what better inspiration than to have some of that what came up. We have Tawana, Tawana's last name.
That's all I can. That's my age.
Teresa's niece. She's the Human Rights Commissioner. There's two appropriate pieces for her office.
And the
One-
Human Rights Commission, okay.
In the exhibition currently, you mean?
Yes,
Okay.
one is Josh Cram,
Okay,
his conflict of walking around as a cisgendered white male who doesn't have to feel what it feels like to be Black or gay or anything, and he's conflicted because he wants to feel it. And that image is just so perfect for her office, and there's another. But again, the one that was not for sale, because we can't afford it anyway, and none of these are for sale. These are gonna be honorariums, was Black Madonna. I've talked to Pablo extensively about what happens to her, and he's agreed to let me loan her to watch over me in my office, because I really need her.
great.
But when it comes down to that precious piece, if he was to let her go, it would be about $5,000. And, my suggestions, if he is, looking to let her go, would be high-end silent auction. The proceeds going to the boots on the ground in Puerto Rico or something like that. So we'll talk about that. But anyway, I'm looking forward to closing this out, giving all the artists a little bit of money for their participation, for pretty much bailing us out. Because this was not your average call for art. This was a reactionary call for art based on Alderman Rita Worthington complaining to the public or to the newspapers that the actual 150th anniversary of the city of Kingston was, colonizers patting each other in the back and not recognizing the contributions of everyone else. And then we came forward with the Kingston Revealed exhibition, about 200 people coming through for that opening reception of all backgrounds, all colors. And that's what when you look at my report, I made sure to talk about Amy Shine, Irish, and Judith, and her background, and then we have Native American, we have everybody. This is who Kingston is. This exhibition reflected all of our complexities, all of our conflicts, and all of who we really are, and I'm proud of us.
Congratulations.
I'm looking Thank you.
I have a practical question. With the work by Josh and the other work that you were mentioning,
Yes,
when it goes into the office, does he get paid or are you asking him to donate it? How will it-
they have all agreed that the city can have their art. When they applied for the application, the only person that did not agree was Pablo.
Oh, so in fact,
Oh.
the city can take whatever it wants, but where the city isn't taking, they still get the money.
All participants are getting $750 for making us a shine.
Right.
Because we didn't look good prior to this until that moment,
Mm.
you know, that we had the opening and people came in hordes of all colors. That represented, as well as the end-of-year New Year's Eve event at Old Dutch Church, Forward Together, Langston Hughes, Let America Be America.
Oh, nice.
The church was packed.
Yay.
Okay, and it was very successful. We had a whole foyer full of gently used or new coats and warm clothes that we gave to family, and we raised that night $900 for family. Michael Burke's very happy. Okay, but this is who we are. This is the pulse. When I reported this to the Common Council Finance Committee yesterday, I said, you know, when I first took this job a year ago, I told the mayor, I don't have a magic wand to, you know, be able to stop the division, but I can certainly just throw some parties that people are gonna wanna come to. And when we had the Kingston Revealed exhibition, I saw people hugging people that weren't speaking to each other, right, Richard? So, you know, okay, so I'm really.
That was you?
I'm really, I'm, he knows what I'm talking about. Because we witnessed that hug, and it's like, oh, don't hug it out, okay? And it was like, this really brought this pulsating love back. And we are bringing the people to, the community together for the arts, and I look forward to another year. It's extreme. My Music in the Park series, we're going to Africa. We're having country, we're having the first annual Native American, I can't call it a powwow, but it's gonna look like one. The Aztecs are coming. This is gonna be October 1st at Kingston Point Beach. We've got 3 tribes that are coming. This is huge. But in between, we have Maximilian. They're gonna be doing children's songs that are all familiar because they come from every movie, and we're gonna show the new Little Mermaid movie. We've got, can't call it Puerto Rican Day, because then we have to do everybody else's day, but it just so happens that we have a Latin concert on the 11th of June, which will feature Alessandra and Pablo in front of Julio's gallery. I'm not sure what he's doing. But we do a Latin concert every year, and that's where it's gonna land. So I'm looking forward to a lot of that. When we go to ARPA, I'm gonna close because I'm gonna have to talk to you all individually about what's going on. ARPA, we're trying really hard, we're late, but I'm trying really hard to release this RFP.
Does everyone know what ARPA is?
I don't know. American Rescue Plan.
Okay, yes, okay. My office, I mean, you have to be careful what you wish for because you just might mess around and get it. I've been saying since I got here that my office should be the one procuring grants and giving out grants to people. And I got crickets. And now I have to manage the events and festivals program, $375,000 to events and festivals that have been running before COVID. Okay, any new events and festivals that I'm considering would have to be really focused on children and families and show impact that way, or that would show that it would draw diverse, I hate that word, I'm gonna find something else. Or,
Multicolor.
you know,
In Spanish, we have a lovely word, but there is no translation to English, variopinto. I love that word.
okay, you gotta teach me that word.
Yeah.
Okay, or that, you know, this is going to be not only, you know, that would be something impactful, bringing heritage, bringing culture, but that it has it can be an annual amount. Anything duplicative that, you know, for instance, if we have an Earth Day the program that's been going on for years and years and years, and then somebody else wants to apply to do their Earth Day too, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So, because we don't want people coming in and saying, give me money because mine's better. But anyway, we're gonna try to launch that within a couple of weeks. We want Black History Month to be eligible to get some of this money. Like, when you look at their marketing alone for the entire month, it's about $15,000. So, to try to just get them some money for marketing would be great. I will be giving everyone the eligibility. I can't involve Drew, I can't involve Lisa because they're eligible for this funding. And then right around after that will be the individual artist grant that I'll be also proud to run. And it looks like that grant is gonna, go to individual artists who can show that they suffered losses during COVID
Mhm.
And all of the arts.
and all of the arts. And that, can spend some money to advance, like for instance, photographer. Just about every photographer I talked to could use $5,000 for a new printer. And that would just save them so much money, because all these guys are spending up the wazoo. You got musicians who could use a new amp or a new microphone. So, even though it's a little bit of money right now, because then there's other buckets of funding that there's uncertainty about. That might land back in individual artists. I'll take it. I want to give more to individual artists. There's more to talk to on this, but I'm gonna stop from there. And I think that's all I had. I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you.
A question,
Yes, sir.
the future plans for the gallery. When does this show come down and then?
It's not, it'll stay on the wall until Isabel.
Until the new installation.
Until the new,
Until there's a new.
Until-
That's what I'm talking about, the new, when is the next?
May.
May, the second weekend of May will be the youth show.
Oh, it's not until then. Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was.
Yeah, so
So that is like taking one and hanging the other.
I think there'll be some mourning if we take this art down, because so many, especially staff members, when people come in and when Puerto Ricans come in, especially and see Black Madonna, they come into my office crying. And a lot of people are still coming to see this exhibit.
And what about the lighting? We've had a challenge with the lighting in
Yeah.
the gallery.
The lighting is very poor in the gallery. Thank you for bringing that up, because that was supposed to be my final. Ed Norman, the DPW director, spent a long time with me about it. He sent the electrician to see me. And Ward has referred the lighting expert from Dodorsky, who will be meeting with me. The whole thing is not necessarily being able to do it or having the money to do it. I got the budget for it. It's got to be historically, aesthetically.
Right.
I mean, we can't just put strips in
Yeah,
there.
sure.
SHPO will never allow that. So
I question that. I think that, they're not.
can you be in the
I think-
conversation?
I think that they understand the practicalities of running an office space. And I think that, or a multi-use space in this case. And I would not be surprised if this were done in a reasonable, low-key way that they would understand and
So
give
we
you.
need to show them what the reasonable keyway looks like.
Or find out what the other, or think about what the other buildings in the region might be that
Historic buildings.
that also have these gallery spaces. Well, the Rear Center is a very good example. It's on the National Register. It's a totally new gallery.
Okay.
Um,
Can you
But the
be part of
gallery
this
is in the
conversation?
annex.
Because the first thing that we're gonna do is we're just gonna put the electrician and Ed Norman in with the Dorsky, I keep forgetting his name, I'm sorry.
Bob or Mike.
The lighting expert from the doors, from.
The comparator is Bob, Mike Prudhomme, probably.
Prudhomme.
Yeah.
Right, so they're gonna just have an initial talk
Yeah, good.
about what can or cannot happen. And then, we'll ask Prudhomme to, just like kind of recommend, from his, area of expertise, what that
What
would
will
look
be,
like.
yeah.
Yeah, but at least it's rolling.
No, it's fantastic. I just wanted to, have everyone understand.
Sorry, and who needs to approve?
SHPO, the.
State Historic Preservation.
Okay.
Because it's a historic building,
Okay.
and on top of that, from
We can't do
the
one.
local.
Okay, one last thing, I also, I got a couple of hesitant, maybe not, or rough, and I kept on pushing, so, I just wanted everybody to look around the room, all the white people in the room, because Ben Whitfall's going up here.
Oh, great.
Do you know someone who controls the election?
No, we didn't. So, all I was asked is if there's room, there's plenty of room.
Just
for Ben Whitfall.
with the hardware.
Yeah. He belongs here.
Fabulous, yeah.
That's beautiful.
What's the
Are
point?
you gonna do Mike Torres's picture in here?
Both,
Oh, you can do both,
both
fantastic.
Pascal and Michael Torres.
That's
I
wonderful.
hate to sound like Spike Lee, do the right thing, and once I back people up, but, so we have permission to have the wave installed here. There are a lot of people will be coming and going and seeing him, and I'm really happy to report that. So anyway, I can keep going.
Congratulations.
Thank
Better
you.
cut me
Great.
off.
That's great.
And also, one of the things that you could do to make space is that, for instance, these two, they need some sort of, so they need to go to the hospital to be taken care of, and
Yeah,
meanwhile,
that's
you
sad.
have more space.
It is pretty sad.
They are very sad.
It is pretty sad.
And there's still the opportunity to bring in a conservator to
Yeah.
do the collections.
That's part of
To
the
do
public
that.
art policy piece.
Okay,
So the.
that you got approved.
That, yes.
Perfect.
Pardon?
To catalog everything.
No, but
state
first,
conditions.
also to condition, to do
Yeah.
condition reports.
To just assess, because that's what I was told when I first got here, that by Ruth Ann, very concerned about the condition of this
Yeah.
art. And you look in the mayor's office and there's some fine pieces in there that are on top of
Yeah.
it.
They need some love.
Yeah.
Well, that's great, So it looks like 2023 is on a very good.
Looking forward to
Yeah.
23, get it done.
Perfect, love it. So our next point in the agenda is not as exciting for some people, but,
Let's keep her in.
please. Give me that New Year gift. So, to update our new commissioners and maybe to refresh the rest of us, we don't have a bylaw. We are not chartered as other commissions in the city. So we are basically ruled by a resolution that was signed on 2015. And the resolution has some task assigned to us from them, but also one of them that is to make us, I don't have to say more productive, effective, but to create what are the rules in which we are going to continue doing our work. We were mandated to create the rules of procedure. So we had some discussions about updating that resolution because there are things in that resolution that are not precisely after 7-8 years, well, there are things that need to be updated, but to go into that way means that there is a lot to do because then we need to go through the chambers, right? They need to discuss, et cetera, et cetera. So while we do that, because it's not that we're saying we're not going to do that, but that was not the priority to start into that bureaucracy right now. We're trying to get this modern document or something with a minimum of understanding of what is our way of doing business until we can deal with that other part, because anyway, we need to have this. So with that spirit, we put together a draft, taking some snips from here and there in other commissions in more or less the same situation as us. They are trying not to be too, I'm running out of words again. Not to be, yeah, well, to try to reduce just to the minimum necessary at least, but to put some rules, and so also we can understand how we go, because every person has different interpretation, and if we leave it that open, oh, I think, oh, I thought, or whatever. So in order to continue developing the art of living together, we need rules. So this doesn't need to be exactly the way it is, but this is a document that we have been discussing. There were some things that we added, some things that we took away, and the idea is to have that conversation and see what the rest of the commissioners would like to see in that document and see if we can approve it. By the way, because this is a document that we are already authorized to create, to adopt, and to implement, also to reassess at some point and update it whenever is necessary. So this is not gonna be set in stone and then, oh, now we are attached with that. Because I think that also there is some consideration about that, well, new rules or new something, we need to just bring it to the meeting, discuss them, approve them, move with them. You have a question?
Oh, no, I've got a correction, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. No, that's it, that's
Do you
just.
want us to respond to the?
Yes, please.
How do you want to do this? Do you want to walk through each section, or has everybody had a chance to marinate?
I looked at it, I didn't print it all out, I just have 2 comments. Based
Perfect.
on what
I don't have the print
read.
version. Do you have an extra copy?
Do you want to call, yeah, I'm ready
Just
to
to
make a motion to approve it, but I did have
Yeah.
a comment.
Perfect.
Right, well, maybe there should be a motion to approve, a second, and then discussion.
Well, the thing is that before the motion to approve it, I wanted to know if anybody had any comment, and I know that.
Isn't that part of the
Want to
discussion?
stop on that?
I'm sorry. Well, first of all, everybody read the document?
Yes.
Some people have some notes or
Yes.
comments?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Well,
please,
wait, the procedure is to have a motion to approve, second, and then discussion.
but we cannot approve if there are some things that need to be discussed in
Those are
advance.
motions,
Those are motions, you can vote after the.
but you have
Oh.
to entertain discussions after the motions are.
Oh, then you say,
So,
no,
Okay, gotcha.
let's vote on
I
it.
would like to
Okay.
motion
Okay,
that we
please.
approve the draft of rules of procedure drafted the date of July 5th.
As they are. Thank you. Somebody wants to second?
I see.
Perfect. By the way, can I second motion something? No, but, okay.
No discussion.
Okay, second, all in favor?
No.
Oh, no, discussion.
No, discussion.
Okay, I truly believe that it was all the way around, but thank you. So Commissioner Ward means,
I have 2 comments,
okay,
Chair.
Chair, my chair.
and you have Exhibit A.
Don't fool around too much. Okay.
Yes, your comment.
I think that the idea that you must have agenda item requests submitted up to, can be submitted only up to 1 week prior to the monthly meeting is a little crazy.
But we have been doing that within the last week.
But why can't, if I found something 2 days ago that I thought should be put onto the agenda and it was very important, why can't it be put on the agenda?
I agree with you up to a certain point. Here's the thing. The idea is to try to have so everybody has the time to download the agenda to read it, but maybe we can leave in the agenda always something open for those last minute things.
Oh, like
Although-
business.
Yeah.
Although I don't have a horse in this race, we can put it up to 24 or 48 hours before the meeting. It's just to give time for people to look at the agenda
Right.
ahead of the
No, I
meeting.
understand why, but I just want to mention, on our current agenda, there's no such thing as new business. So
Exactly.
I just want to be sure that if there's something that it comes up
That we could-
relatively soon, that it can still be discussed at the meeting, because it just seems a little over the top.
It sounds reasonable to me. Oh, before you go to the next one.
Reasonable, to get a new business, yes.
So how should we handle, like maybe 48 hours before the meeting? Or just leave it open? Pardon?
Why not 24 hours?
That doesn't necessarily give the amount of Really bureaucratic.
And to post on the website and,
I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
So 2 days.
48.
48 hours?
Let's say 2 days, it sounds.
Okay, two days.
That's crazy.
It's just to give, because, not everybody, and even though with the time, sometimes we arrive to the meeting and let me look at the agenda, because we live
And then
crazy.
and still there'll be an opportunity for new business.
Perfect, so,
Well, the other point on that is that we have to make the agenda public in a timely way.
So you think.
exactly,
48 hours
2 days, do you think is too short time?
Sufficient.
Okay.
It's okay.
Second thing, this is so interesting, it's like, what world am I living in here?
What page are you?
It's dissension, I don't know, I didn't, page 4.
Okay, thank you.
Something the commissioner has posted on the meeting minutes shall be presumed to have assented to such action unless their dissent shall be entered in the minutes, or unless they shall file their written dissent to such action with the secretary of the meeting before the adjournment thereof, or shall forward such dissent by registered mail. I'm like, am I in the 19th century? When was the last time you ever sent anything by registered mail?
It say that?
Yeah, here, yeah, the bottom, yeah.
That's very
Yes.
legalese.
It's very legal.
But
Participation?
I'd rather have something that we can follow than
Yeah.
something that we can, that's something ridiculous that we won't follow.
Right, email.
Oh, excuse me, I was looking at
It's
the.
somehow written,
Written, yes.
Yeah, for sure, that may be like,
or that's then acknowledged by the director, something like that, I don't know.
okay, do you have, some language to substitute this?
No, I just saw it actually, so I thought I'd add it to my comments.
Oh, okay, I don't have any problem.
Does anyone have any suggestions of what?
Because this is more observation of the form, but not on the deep message of what it is, just to make it more palatable and
Make it more 21st century.
perfect.
Kate, you have a suggestion?
Send an email.
It looks like we agree with you in both of your
Yeah,
comments.
I think an email that is then acknowledged or responded to, because, a lot of people say, oh, I sent you an email.
Yeah, that's the thing, that, exactly.
So maybe something that then is
Okay.
given a response
My only,
by the chair and or the director.
exactly, well, my comment on this will be that I may discuss with Kit, just to make sure that fits into the rules of the city hall, commission, whatever, because there are some things that eventually we need to.
Actually, there's no problem except for the section about the mayor. Everything else fits in, everything else.
Oh, what is the section about the mayor?
Yes.
Would you like to tell us, or?
The mayor is invited to perform at each meeting.
No, well, I want to get to that, but with
Okay.
this language, it's fine.
The language is fine. Okay, so,
I mean, we'll have to run the final by, Barbara, Corporation Counsel. She might, or one of her.
perfect, exactly, that's the
legal
point.
Assistants might tweak this or that, but for the most part,
The substance, exactly. What I want to make sure is that if we agree with the substance, yes.
So you're suggesting take out registered and make it electronic?
I like registered, I'm sorry.
Registered mail.
Yeah, because electronic, as you're saying now, well, we gotta wait for it to be acknowledged, it could go to spam,
Well, that's what, if it goes to spam, but if it's not acknowledged, and it can't go through. I just want something that's more up to date than registered mail, that's all. And
Yeah.
that's why I thought acknowledged by
I get
the
that.
chair and or director.
Yeah,
Can you be sent to two people? She
I
has
guess that the thing
a
is that-
record and wait.
yeah, because the thing is that it needs to be acknowledged, is
Yeah.
that, it doesn't fall into the cracks and then nobody knew or didn't.
If someone's lying, I mean,
Exactly.
it could be Representative Santos, who's on.
Oh, don't get me started.
Don't be here, okay?
Although it's a good precedent to have it like that.
Everything now relates to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I can go to this language and maybe,
We don't have to do it now.
exactly, because here's the thing, again, if the substance is okay, we will work in those little
Okay.
details, and anyway, we need to run by Barbara. Because maybe we will have the
Well, we
document
could
back.
be final by Barbara. What we're saying here, though, is we want this thing approved tonight.
Yes.
So what you're saying is
That's
that
what we should do.
the board is recommending, it's being recorded,
Perfect.
that we add to this.
And that will be, but with those, I'm not gonna call them amendment, but with those suggestions and re-edit. Now we can, oh, the motion was done, so now we can vote.
Now I have a question.
Oh, you have a question?
Lisa also.
Oh, Elisa,
Lisa, go ahead.
Oh, I was just curious about the ex officio members, and the designated liaison representative from the common council.
Oh, yeah.
When those are, is that an annual, appointment for them, or
Well-
is that also a, do they have a term?
that's a reflection of the resolution. In the resolution, it says that the common council, I think that is the alderman at large, will designate somebody from the common council to be our liaison.
Okay.
It's already in the resolution, so somehow this is like the connection from this side that, and last time it was ready. I'm not sure if we're including Rennie on the emails, but each time that I have a communication with Rennie, I remind him about the meeting. Sometimes he say I cannot make it that day, things like that. They don't have to be constantly, but it will be great, so any things that eventually we need to deal with the common council is not something that comes brand new for them, but that they are in direct, that we are working in the
So
same
the
thing.
city planner, the director of economic development, and a member of the Heritage Commission, and the representative from the common council always get invitations to the meetings.
Well, I think that that's something that we may need to make sure that once this is approved,
Okay.
each time that we send those communications, they are included, so they are,
So being ex
Kept in
officio
the loop.
is kind of that they're advisory in that capacity?
I'm not
Okay.
sure exactly how that
They
goes
don't
on that
vote,
side,
we
but
did.
yeah.
We
And
used to-
non-voting, it's
Years ago,
non-voting.
we did have a member of the common council come to a
Yeah.
number of meetings. Andrea,
Oh, wait, shall.
Yeah,
my finger's here because you. need to-
Okay, I was just curious in the, in
Oh.
terms of, function, so.
Sure.
Changes or amendments?
No, I just wanted to understand.
oh, yeah, we need to decide that one.
With the commission.
Yeah, this was another thing that I thought it will be helpful to have because our meetings are an hour and a half, are public meetings, and normally it's like blah, 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 and then we have to go. If once a year, we have the annual meeting in which, by the way, we also vote for the chair for that year or not, if you remember, somehow the election of our officers is also included there. The suggestion was, for instance, the chair to be appointed for 1 year and then vote again if we want to keep it or if we want to change or things like that.
So we do need.
So that we could do that in an annual meeting that is for our intern businesses. But as word point here, it says the suggestion, the annual meeting of the commissioners shall occur in ... because, we may need to decide which month that will happen on a mutually agreed upon date. Oh, so maybe we don't need to,
No, I just thought it should happen, like the annual meeting occurs, I'm making this up,
It will-
every June,
exactly.
each January.
Yeah.
And
Or
the
each
annual
January.
meeting can coincide with a regular meeting.
It could coincide, we could do something, but the idea is just to make the space.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier to have it coincide.
Well, that's true too, but that's something that is open for the,
But everyone else, please.
please, jump in.
I think that makes sense too. Yeah, it's hard enough, so it's like, artists are like herding cats, so.
I would recommend maybe, I
Make
mean,
it easy.
every month is like very busy. Can we think of a month that maybe is the quiet one to do that? No, right? It's a lottery.
Can you make a meeting a little longer?
Yeah, we could do, and we could also go to an executive session just for that. But the idea is to make it so it's part of our functioning to have that annual
We
meeting.
do need to do one, right?
We need to do, because my year already passed on
Yeah.
October, November. So we are just keeping going, but that was the thing. I mean, if we decide that we keep going with the way we are, that's fine. But to add some formalism, I know that sometimes it's
Yes.
like a little bit of, but those formalism really have a sense.
March.
So let me ask a question.
Sure.
When your budget meetings, when do you normally have that? Like the way that we.
We don't have budget. We don't have budget
The commission doesn't have a budget.
Oh, there's no budget.
because we are not charter.
Got it. Okay, so working through.
So that's,
Advisory, the commission.
She has the budget.
She does that.
She's not sharing.
That's
The
her.
commission operates in an advisory capacity to
Okay.
the mayor and myself.
yeah, that's the thing that, organizationally talking, we are in a sort of like a gray.
Yes.
Okay, all right, I'll learn that piece.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I say we decide on this
Yeah.
year's annual meeting, and that be the month that we do it.
Can we wait, and can we do this by email, because we have DJ, we have Julio and Dominic who weren't able to.
So do we have to put a month in this document?
Well,
right
I
now?
have to
Mutually
say
agreed upon
something.
date seems to be okay until we.
I have to say something about that. Everybody knew that we were discussing this today. And we didn't receive any notification of not being able to make it to the meeting. And we have 5 commissioners, so we have quorum to discuss this or any business. And that's why this document hasn't been approved, because there is always something that prevents that.
Let's move it, let's go.
Okay, so,
Put something near, it can always be
Wait a
changed.
second. Come on. You're thinking June, are we talking about June?
I was thinking June.
I'm thinking June.
Yeah, it's gonna be okay.
Because that's before we go.
Yeah, it's coming, yeah.
June sounds good, okay.
Sounds good.
So
The city year starts January. Yep,
So
June.
that calendar, okay, yeah.
Perfect, so June sounds good to me too, before everybody leaves for.
Good.
Perfect, so now we can vote?
I
Wait.
move.
Page 3, vacancies. All vacancies in the membership, whether by resignation, death, or otherwise, shall be filled by appointment by the mayor after a recommendation issued by the remaining arts commission. This is wrong. The
Okay,
mayor can appoint at will,
I know.
so.
Oh, okay, so
Okay.
it sounds like he cannot do it until we tell him, gotcha.
Yes, so we just.
Yes, that needed to,
Everyone is, what should
All
be-
vacancies in the membership, whether by residence, shall be filled by appointment by the mayor.
yeah,
After a recommendation.
Period.
no, exactly, yeah, but we can recommend, but he can decide
The
whether he
Arts
wants.
Commission will recommend, just make it simple.
Yeah.
We'll offer recommendations. If you want to say based on their vetting of the applicant.
You're absolutely right.
Because basically,
Okay.
he's taking your recommendation, but he could also
Right.
not approve. You may know something that you may not know.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I remember that I had a conversation with him and made completely sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mistake, that's on me, so we can also change the
Yeah,
language there, no
just
problem.
pretty much just make sure that, that after that, and,
It's not.
Perfect.
the commissioners, I'd like to see the specific language that the commissioners, look through the applications, vet the applications,
Yeah.
discuss these applicants and make recommendations. The mayor, has the final say, if that is needed at all. You don't even have to mention the
But
mayor.
that's true, and anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
no,
We
that's
can just
perfect,
take that out.
that's, I have no problem. Any other comment, observation, need an explanation, something?
My concern is that, I think that, as for me, I'd like to see how it looks in the final form before we really vote on it.
Okay,
I'd like to vote on it and get it through with the
With the
corrections that
amendment.
we talked about today.
it's like what we do with the minutes that we say, oh, this and this need to be corrected, but we approve them,
I see.
making with those corrections
Yeah,
included.
and a review from corporate.
Exactly,
Okay,
Right, so with the suggested corrections that occurred today.
yeah, so with that, okay, so now with those corrections it seems that we agree with those I think there were 4 things to,
Sorry.
yeah, you will, okay, perfect. So, any votes in favor? Aye.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, Kim, the rest of the meeting is for you.
It really is.
Well, I commit to update those things,
Okay.
share with you guys, just to make sure, because eventually whatever, and then that is the copy that you're gonna forward to the council, right?
Right, although that's the copy I'm gonna give to you all.
Perfect.
All right,
Guys,
how do you all want to recommend the ninth commissioner? Because we've got 29 applications to go through.
yeah,
How do you want to do this? I mean, I had just suggested that,
we cannot mention names in a public meeting.
I'm not mentioning it.
Okay, just in
I was
case.
just saying that, what I recommended before was that the commissioners will forward it again,
Yes,
all 29. And then amongst yourselves, tell each other what your number ones, number twos, number threes are, and then vote on,
on executive session.
That is.
Yeah,
okay?
And you will-
Sessions.
Give us,
I'll give you all 29 applications, but this is piled up over the last year and a half. That's why we have so many people just waiting in the wings, waiting
Yeah.
to hear one way or another, which we've got to close this. Those who were not accepted, we can let
and
them
then
know.
let them know, thank you very much.
They were not accepted this round, we will keep you under consideration, whatever you want to say, but just move it.
Yeah.
Like, I went through the names and I came up with my top 2 names.
Okay.
Is that what you want us to
Give
do,
them
or
to
top 3 names?
Serena, please.
Yes,
Yeah, top, how many?
How many?
Five,
Top 3.
3, top.
and how many do we need? I don't.
we need one.
Oh, just one. Okay.
Yeah,
Think how special you
I mean, we've already heard from
Really?
DJ.
Okay.
We know who DJ's is.
oh,
We
you
know
got
who
his
Maria-
recommendation.
We
Perfect.
know who Maria Lena's is.
You know my
We've said-
recommendation.
There's 2 that have given us their recommendations. We
Okay.
can-
And Lisa, I think that Lisa and I coincide with our recommendation, right?
And will you remind us, let everyone on an email to that?
I
you
will
want
send
that?
them.
We can
I'll look at it one more
But
time.
no-
look at that and send, so guys, send your
This is how I
recommendation
make
to.
records of everything.
Okay, all right,
So you,
love it.
can you be sending us?
I'll send you all 29.
Okay.
Okay, I know it's a little
Oh,
lot.
that's true, you don't have that because you were saying last meeting.
Can we talk a little bit about your thoughts about the youth exhibition?
3 minutes. It's just because they are already there.
No, we have until 10 of.
Yeah.
Exactly, but there is another thing in the, oh no, you're right.
Well, when I met with kids about a month ago, it just came to me that the idea that we have to think about the future of Kingston and what the future of Kingston, the kids, the youth, and to give an opportunity to kids, adolescents, young adults, to be showing what they can produce. Even, I always feel, even if they don't pursue an art career, but to feel that somebody or the whole city validates what they are
Yeah.
doing at this time is invaluable. I mean, that you keep it for the rest of your life. And your self-esteem goes to the sky, and it helps you in any other thing you want to do, okay? So, I mean, I don't.
So that's good. So now you have 2 great.
Yes, and I
three-
have,
three
and I
youth
have,
leaders.
I mean, practical questions. I'm new with this, I don't know how it works, okay? So for example, do we have a budget to do this?
You have a what?
A
A
budget.
budget,
Budget,
Yes, we do.
money.
money.
I'll discuss all of that. We don't need to go through all that right now.
Okay, well, I mean,
Just,
that's another
you know,
thing.
you let it
I mean, in terms of how the things work, because I don't know, you have to inform me of this. Do we have to create a separate committee that it will?
You have your.
Well, we have the
Okay.
program committee that,
No, you have your committee. It is Frank Waters, My Kingston Kids, Drew Andrews, CC.
Okay,
Lisa
so,
Kelly, Matt Ross.
We have to figure when to meet, how to meet,
Yes.
and go on from there. And have a discussion. Can we meet next week and figure something?
It's already,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I will do that.
A day,
Yes.
and done.
And yes, you have a nice
Sign a
budget.
date and done.
Yes,
So we have-
and we can set an appointment next week, but maybe we can do it on Zoom.
And start shaping how it's
It's
gonna be.
very challenging to choose works from, thousands of.
That's why we've got the
Oh, we-
3 organizations that are gonna be working.
We'll figure something.
Yeah, so good. I'm happy that we're gonna, you've got the finest organization.
And it will be fabulous to have new lighting by then.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so I wanna also bring down the Distinguished Artist Award.
Mm.
We had a awardee last year, and it has really had no movement, and we lost our chair. So what does the commission do in that case? They have another year in order to do the project that they had stated that they wanted to do.
it's only one community project that is,
No, it wasn't.
yeah, I think that it was, yeah.
I think it's a very important thing for the distinguished artist to do.
Yeah.
To do a project, present it.
It was it's part of the.
I just don't have time to follow up with it, and they're kind of difficult, I guess they're very busy, but they're difficult to chase down, so I,
Oh.
need help on that, and I don't know who's gonna chair it from here.
I can share it.
We have a chair for the distinguished artist. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lisa.
Okay.
And then I don't know, I work with Ione.
Yeah, if you want
interface
to,
together,
and maybe
because we already have
maybe they can
connection.
visit the commission meeting and talk about their project. Or, you may be, the representative, but also towards the end of this year, we have to start talking about.
The next one.
The next one. For 24. So thank
Yeah,
you.
that's right.
That's all I have.
Perfect, thank you very much, and I'm gonna steal the last 5 minutes, just only 1 minute. The Alianza Cultural de Kingston and Arts Mid Hudson are putting together a cooking day because we realized that this year, Passover, Easter, and Ramadan coincide in the first week of April. They run for several days, but there is the first week of April that the 3 of them are happening. So we are planning for March 29 at the St. James Methodist Church, United Methodist Church. March 29, that is before that, we're gonna share a few easy recipes of all those traditions. We're gonna talk about them. We're gonna talk about the symbolism of the food. We are gonna cook that with the community. We're gonna share different stuff, and everybody can,
Who's presenting?
the Alianza Cultural.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Okay, we've got one
I
more.
want to help promote. Matt wants to help promote.
Yes, we just got the confirmation of the venue today.
Okay.
And also we got the confirmation of the money today. So that's why today I'm
Just a
going,
conversation.
taking the same energy, today is the day, I wanted to put it out there, yes.
Okay, good. So please, I'm
Yes,
serious. I want to help promote this.
Yeah.
And I want to help.
Thank you.
Support.
Absolutely.
The coalition.
absolutely.
Thank you.
And I'd love to have a conversation with the group, about.
Oh, and the last thing, because we have like a government de facto in the commission,
Yeah.
my dear co-chair,
Oh,
do we want to vote for Ward for the follow for
You have to
2023?
nominate.
Oh, I nominate Ward to be the co-chair for 2023. Second, everybody in favor?
Yeah.
Yay! Guys, I have to say, this is one of the most productive meetings that we have. We're really like, thank you, thank you. Well, I'm not dealing with like way too difficult conversation, but thank you very much. So it's 5:47. If there is anything else, we are gonna adjourn the meeting.
New business.
New business.
Your business.
I think that we're gonna include in the agenda again.
new
the
business
item, yeah,
yes.
because it was there before, yeah.
I would like to, I've had this idea, and I know it's a conversation that Kit and I had about, and maybe it wasn't Kit, maybe it was some other people, but anyway, there's this thing about the commissions siloing themselves and us not knowing about what's going on in the commissions. And I think that the Arts Commission, it's, you know, contingent on us to create a party to bring the commissions together. I don't know.
All the other
I feel
committees.
like the commissions should be like, the art commission should be like the ones to really foster a mixer of some kind or something for the
With the other
commission.
commissions.
Yes.
What are the other commissions?
Well, I know the Legal Kingston and the Hillwell, Committee for that commission.
We have-
I know,
Well, we do definitely want to speak to the Preservation Commission. That is
Oh.
part of the policy.
that's true.
We also
I
have
agree
health
with
and
you.
wellness.
It's
That
so
is-
important.
Yeah, the health and wellness have, yeah.
Yeah, I
But
would
that's-
like to think
All
of
commissions relate to a healthy city and.
Yes.
I mean, if we're not actually having relationships or some,
It
cross.
would also help us to learn more
Information.
about-
Yes,
But I do think that we should schedule a meeting with the Historic Preservation
Absolutely.
Commission
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and tell them why what we've been thinking about. And
Well, they want to talk to us too.
Great.
oh, that's good, so we just need to find a date.
Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. So guys, because in 1 minute they're gonna kick us out of the place, they have another meeting,
So I'm
officially.
sending you email.
Are you still recording?
Motion.
Motion to adjourn,
So moved.
children, Laura.
motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Yes, yes.
Drew,
But
do you want the motion?
Yes.
Seconded?
Second.
Okay, everyone in favor?
Yeah.
Aye, keep the
I
stop.
don't have time.
Thank you, everyone, it was
Thank you,
great.
Madam Chair, wonderful meeting.
I just asked you.
Okay, okay.
You have to celebrate your
Excellent. Excellent. Are we still on?
Oh.
Yeah, I gotta get back to the center. Oh, what's happening?
Okay.